Welcome to The Biker and the Witch. I'm Dr. Sunshine, the biker psychologist.
And I'm Foxglove the Witch.
We've got our glasses of wine. It's Sunday night. And so it's time for another psycho-spiritual tarot reading. We are, of course, in our living room with our fireplace going. It's been an absolutely beautiful, beautiful day. It's been like 80 degrees and sunny. I was out on the motorcycle. It's been lovely. We've got, there's my gorgeous witch. We've got a nice little altar going, a little Halloween baby head with the blue eyes. And we liked him so much last time, our little incense tree. We don't use him very often, but he's super cool. You see the smoke billowing out of his head. And I told you guys last time, he's like the wise old tree, right? He's got a beard and everything. And I just noticed today, for the first time, we've had this thing for years, and I never noticed that he's got an owl right there in the back of the tree. Super cool. Wise old tree with an owl. So we are feeling very grateful. It's a beautiful night. It feels like fall. It's warm, but getting cooler. And it's feeling like it might storm or something. The wind is blowing. And we've got some amazing wind chimes.
Camera down.
Oh, I can edit that out.
Okay.
And we have got some amazing wind chimes. I just knocked the camera over, so there's a little
operator error this weekend too.
A little edit. Now I think we're upside down. Let me fix it. All right. There we go. I just knocked the camera over when I was sitting down, so I had to fix it if you saw a little edit. But yeah, so we've got beautiful wind chimes outside. They're kind of deeper pitched than most wind chimes, and they make a great sound. So you may hear them in the background. Of course, Aleister Crowley is under the table, chewing on the tablecloth. And last but not least, let's see if you can see her. There's Bella.
Hey,
sleeping
Bella.
on the couch. Hello, little girl. All right. So, Foxglove?
Yes.
All you, my love.
All right. So, I gave the privilege of picking out our oracle cards and tarot cards to Sunshine. It's a big privilege, I know. So, he picked out some really cool cards. So, based off the cards that he picked, I decided that we're going to go with kind of a shadow reading this weekend. Things that we need to release and let go, or things that we're holding on to that we need to let go.
And I'm just going to say that's sort of a carryover theme from last week. So if you go back and you watch the video from October 15th, we did a reading, and Foxglove really wasn't getting much out of the reading. I did most of the interpreting. And by the end of the video, she sort of suggested that maybe that reading was more for me than it was for her, and that's why I got so much out of it. But as the week went on, a couple of things came up just in our life, in our family life, in our household, and we realized that maybe that reading was actually more for her than it was for me, but she couldn't see it because it was shadow work, right? And that's the nature of shadow work. So if you're somebody who like has a shadow work journal and does shadow work, and every day you're doing shadow work and you're writing and you're probably doing good work, but probably not real shadow work. Real shadow work is hidden, and it's really hard to see. And what happens, it's deep. And when you do get glimpses of it, they're brutally painful.
Like a gut punch.
Yeah. It's like if you've ever been to a concert and you can feel the bass drum in your chest. That's what shadow work feels like when you uncover something of value. And I think that's Foxglove had a moment of that earlier this week. And it was really in line with the reading we did. So if you're curious, go back and take a look at that October 15th reading. But tonight's reading will be continuing with the shadow work theme.
Yep. So this is a new release tarot deck. Actually, I'd signed up for this and waited for a while before. It was one of those crowd like fundraisers.
Yeah.
So you order them way in advance. but it's called Dark Reflections. It is
Really hard to see, but
a very unique spin on tarot. So a lot of people who read tarot will read reversals. I don't normally read reversals. It's when the card comes out upside down. And a lot of times when the card comes out upside down, it's like the opposite of the right side up meaning. So that's what these are. These are pretty much the opposite. They're very, very cool. I will read some of them out of the book because
just less familiar with
right.
Yeah.
I'm very, and like I said, I don't usually read reversals, but this also gives you advice on what you can do to change things. So it's really cool. So if we need to clarify, we're going on to the Black Tarot. This was one of my Christmas gifts from Sunshine.
Yule
These
gifts.
are all black and white. These are super, super cool. And I've always looked at these because of it being black and white and so dark as shadow work cards. So then he picked our Oracle, and this is the Moon Witch Oracle. I have a tarot to match these two. These are gorgeous cards. I hope you don't get offended if you see naked little illustrations because chicks are naked in this deck. Not all of them, a good chunk of them. If we need a final message, then we are going with the Moonology deck. So these are really beautiful cards too. This was one of my first decks I bought.
Cool.
So here we go. So based off of our theme last week, we should ask, what are we holding on to?
Yeah. So you're right. So as a little twist, I mean, the first 3 videos, we've asked each time, what do we need to know for the forthcoming week? This time, since there's such a theme of shadow work, we're asking sort of, what is it that we're holding on to and what do we need to release in order to move forward?
Yep.
And we're hoping to get an answer that resonates with everyone who listens, or most people who listen.
That everybody can at least get some message.
Some connection to it, yeah.
All right. One more shuffle. And our theme is sign. If you're looking for a sign, here it is. Now I'm going to read the meaning out of the book. And on the bottom is 13. Divine feminine, step into your power. I kind of feel like if you're looking for a sign to release self-esteem issues and complexes and everything and embrace your divine feminine and step into your power, here it is. This is your sign. It's time to do it.
I'm already feeling like this reading might.
Really? You think it's me?
I do.
You think it's me again?
I think still.
Still.
I think the cards are going to keep telling you the same thing until
I actually do it.
Yeah. And I think maybe
that's what they've been doing for years.
For years, but you're so close.
I know.
So close.
Much, much, much closer than
those who know,
I've ever been.
Those who know Foxglove, including me, will tell you that she is an incredibly powerful woman. She's got wild presence. When she walks into a room, people notice. And I'm not just saying that. Like I because she's my partner. I mean, I feel really privileged and lucky that she's my partner because she's so powerful. She has a very, very hard time owning that power. And in my opinion, I think she feels like it might be narcissistic somehow or immodest to own that power, to admit that she has that power. But the problem that I see is that when she tries to deny that power, it runs rampant in ways that don't give her the results she wants, that don't give her the life she wants, and get in our way sometimes as a family or as a relationship. But when she can embrace that power, man, everything in the world and the universe just seems to fall into place the way she wants it. So
I think some of that goes along with the whole upbringing of being humble.
Right. But I don't think it's humble.
That and women are very much subdued.
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I'm not sure it's humble to like deny what's true.
no,
right?
I don't think so either. But I'm saying that that's
Yeah, I get it. I
how
get
I
it.
was
But
raised.
if you're
That
looking for a sign, might be
Yeah.
time to let that shit
I
go.
know it's been time to let that shit go. All right, so here is the meaning of sign out of the book. Here is your permission slip, if you think you need one, to start doing something and to live your life to the fullest. Time is precious. Do not waste any minute of it. Grab your magic wand, get up from the couch, and go chase your dreams. You have limitless potential. There are thousands of invisible hands supporting your journey. That's beautiful. All right, so our sign and our divine stepped into divinity, stepping into power. We're going to ask the cards what's holding us back.
What's in the way?
What is in the way of doing these things?
I will say while she's shuffling.
Suffering.
Yeah, Freudian slip.
There's times.
There's times. As a psychologist, so many of the people I dealt with, the work we did was about just figuring out what was in the way, right? They had all of the resources within them, but they had just learned along the way that they were powerless, or that things, not to expect good things or whatever. And that belief held them back more than any actual circumstance or reality. I mean, there's some exceptions, but generally speaking, that's the case, right?
It goes along with that saying about what you think about, you bring about.
Yep.
Oh, those two cards are going to come off the top. They will. Those are the first two cards. Okay. So we have Ace of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles. We have a theme going. The World,
Oh, that's a cool card.
Nine of Wands,
It looks a little like Maria Blank from In This Moment.
It does. She's amazing. So, and the last card is the Four of Pentacles. So,
Lots of pentacles.
yeah, pentacles are your material wealth. It's a earth. It's earth signs. Um,
An earth sign is power as well.
mm-hmm. And if you notice on this card, the pentacle, when the pentacle is up and down, where the fifth point is pointing up, is how witches and everything. That's how we do our pentacles.
Yeah, it's an upside down pentacle.
Yeah. The 4 points represent the 4 elements. So fire, air, water, and earth. The fifth pointing up is spirit. So this one's upside down. It's almost like your shit's all upside down. It's out of wonk. Bottom of the deck. Shit, Ten of Pentacles.
Wow.
All right, so we're all about, earth can be, this could be signs of needing to be grounded. I will point out, as I said that, it's okay. The Two of Pentacles is all about balance. It's all about juggling things. Huh?
Do you want me to look them up while you're reading?
Yeah. If you notice, he has dropped his pentacle. He's usually juggling these. Like, I've got all this stuff up in the air, but you know what? I'm balanced and I'm handling it. I can juggle all these different things. I can multitask. He is off balance and he has dropped one of his pentacles. So if it's the opposite, that's kind of telling me that new beginnings and new things that you want to manifest, like this isn't happening. Like things aren't coming in like they're supposed to. Like you're not seeing your manifestations. You're not seeing things. You're out of balance.
You want to? I can't read those without my glasses.
All right.
So there's the Ace of Pentacles. Next page will be the Two.
Okay. So the shadow traits to explore is reckless versus prudent. And you're not the only one. This is very blurry.
I'll get my glasses.
It's okay.
You got it?
Challenges when repressed, bad investments, lack of planning, money problems, greed, missed chances, scarcity, deficiency, instability, stinginess, bad choices. So we're asked, what it is that we
You
need to
need to
let go of,
release.
what's in
Yeah.
our way. Well, we're out of balance.
Yeah.
We're being greedy. We're making bad choices.
And the one word that encapsulates all of it for me was scarcity. If you
Mm-hmm.
approach things with a scarcity mindset, you're
Yes.
greedy and you're
Mm-hmm.
miserly and you make bad choices.
And if
Yeah.
you're always looking at things that you don't have, the lack of, or if you're always telling yourself that, like, negative things, like,
Yeah.
well, you can't do this because, you
Yeah.
know,
That's still a
it's a
scarcity
scarcity,
mindset,
right?
right?
Exactly. It's a scarcity mindset.
Yeah, as
You
opposed to an
can't,
abundant
right? And
mindset.
you cannot manifest if you are in a scarcity space. So, Two of Pentacles out
Well,
of the
you
book.
bring about, right, what
Right?
you think
Think
about,
about,
you bring about. So if you're in a
yep,
scarcity space,
that's what you bring about.
yeah,
Can't manifest if you don't believe it, you deserve
yeah,
it. So, shadow trait to explore, disarray versus orderly.
that's a big one for me.
Ah, yeah. So, challenges when repressed, imbalanced, unorganized, overwhelmed, messiness, chaos, overextending, feeling unstable, wasteful, indecisive, and bad news. So, with this scarcity mindset that's leading to bad decisions and bad financial decisions and um, this feeling of inadequacy and that scarcity mindset, like, it's because you're out of balance. You're out of
Well, and
balance
you always
and
say that these
it's a
two,
mess,
yeah, that these two
chaos.
first cards are
Mm-hmm.
sort of before,
Right.
and
What's happened and
yeah,
what's led up to our
and the
present
middle is
moment.
kind of where we are, right?
The World. The World is the last card in the major arcana. So the World in normal decks, when it's upright, is all about you have finished a journey. It is completion. It is success. It's usually the angel with like a wreath that you would, at the end of a horse race, the champion, you know, like has around it. Um, so this to me, it's an incomplete circle.
Yeah,
It's incomplete.
and
There is a
it's
journey.
yeah, and it's an incomplete homunculus. It's got, the homunculus is the
Mm-hmm.
snake eating its
Tail,
tail,
so it's a
and it's not
continuous circle.
catching its tail, and it's
Right.
also got, oh, what Greek letter is that? I want to say that might be a lowercase beta on its head. It's got a Greek letter.
So read it out of the book. And this Dark Reflections, shadow trait to explore, mindlessness versus mindfulness. So challenges when repressed, external happiness, wishful thinking, repressing pain, seeking perfection, hanging on to the past, and emotional stagnation, which totally goes along with all of our theme.
Yeah.
Like, we're not moving on.
Right.
We're not closing this circle, completing things so we can move on to something new. It's
Right.
incomplete because we are holding on to things from the past and we have a scarcity mindset.
Right. And some people think like, well, they're really like attached to their perfectionist side, right?
Yes.
Like, oh, well, that's what keeps me sharp and it gives me an edge. But it doesn't.
No.
If you like Brene Brown, her book Daring Greatly has an entire chapter on perfectionism. And she says that perfectionism, like, we think that perfectionistic tendencies are going to draw people closer to us. They'll be so happy with us and impressed with us, it'll draw them closer. And she says in reality, it ends up being like a 2-ton shield that we drag around from place to place that just prevents people from getting close to us because it's inauthentic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has
that
the
doesn't
gifts,
mean, oh, sorry, go ahead. The gifts of imperfection. Yeah.
which is an amazing.
Yeah, I like Daring Greatly better, but they're both good.
I love them both.
But but yeah, the idea is not that you shouldn't strive for improvement, that you shouldn't have standards for yourself. Of course you should, and try to grow toward those standards. But but perfectionism is nonsense. It doesn't exist.
No, there's no such thing as perfection.
Yeah, even in so many cases, you could say in whether you're working on your fitness or your mental health or your cardiovascular health or your nutrition, you could say, well, what does perfect look like? And almost nobody can describe it to you. So if they can't describe it to you, by default, it's inachievable. And really, the goal is to take where you are today and improve a little, and then take that place and improve a little, and take that place and improve a little. And as you're improving, you may find that your goals change, whatever it is, education, fitness, finances. And once your goals change, well, now you're here where you used to be here. So instead of improving a little this way, you might need to improve a little this way. And now you improve a little this way because you're going toward a different goal. It's constant movement is what's authentic.
Right.
Perfectionism is nonsense and it creates distance.
Yeah, perfectionism is like a unicorn. It's a mythical creature. It does not exist.
Right.
So, all right, our next card is the Nine of Wands. Now, usually the Nine of Wands is all about standing your ground. He is the wounded warrior. Like, you know what? Been through some shit, but I'm still going. Like, I'm not giving up. It's persistence. You know, it is, I'm standing guard. I'm not going anywhere, regardless of what happens to me. With this one, he's kind of hiding. Fire's burning outside. Shit's going, you know, to hell in a handbasket. And instead of him standing out there protecting, he is hiding. He is hiding away. So, if you read.
You know what? I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
That's okay.
It wasn't a Greek letter.
Oh.
Look at the head of the snake.
I can't.
It's an astrological symbol.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's where I've seen it before.
Okay. Well, normally on the world card, it is in the corners is the 4 fixed zodiac signs, which I believe Taurus, and I know Aquarius because I'm an Aquarius. Yeah, because I'm an Aquarius sun and a Taurus moon. And I can't remember the rest of them right off. Okay. Anyway. So, all right. So the shadow traits to explore is unyielding versus yielding. So it's knowing when to yield, when to stop, instead of persisting and pushing on and just carrying on with the same theme, like the perfectionism, like the stuff that we hold on to the past, like this mindset that we're stuck in that keeps us from progressing, that keeps us unorganized and in chaos and from completing a cycle and moving on to the next journey. Like, that's what you need to. Why are you holding on to it instead of letting it go?
I very hesitantly will once again say, and I say it hesitantly because, well, I'll say it and then I'll tell you why I'm hesitant.
Okay.
I am hesitantly thinking that this might still be for you, like last week.
I don't doubt it at all.
Yeah, I say it hesitantly because as soon as I say that, the universe can be like, "Fuck you! It's all about you."
Right.
Exactly.
You you thought it was about her. Well, and honestly, I think there's a little bit of all of us in this.
For sure.
I mean, may not exactly the whole reading, but I'm sure there's some of us that's still holding on to things that are causing chaos in our lives or unbalance.
Of course, but this is very at the surface for you lately.
Yeah.
Right. It's very like yes.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right. So challenges when repressed, stubbornness.
Well, maybe it's not you.
I know, right? That doesn't sound like me at all. Defensiveness.
Oh, Jesus.
Uncompromising, helpless, unrealistic. Stop it. That's not nice.
Truth hurts, love of my life.
Oh my God. You made me lose my place.
We really didn't need the deal. We just needed the one card.
Right? Unrealistic, unsure, overwhelmed, and feeling tired.
Holy cow. You should tell the book it's a medical condition.
Such an ass.
Nothing that can be done about it.
Such an ass. All right, let's move on. So our last card is the 4 of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles, I look at it, some people look at it as holding on to something so tight that you prevent movement forward. I look at it as stability. Fours are about stability. Like you've got this stuff that you've earned and you're holding on to it. You're making wise decisions. You're holding on to your stuff and not being frivolous. But if you see here, people are reaching in and they're taking her stuff. And then she's giving it away.
Right.
So to me, it's almost like you're giving away your power and you're also allowing things to take it away from you.
See, I don't see that at all. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what the book says.
Right.
But what I see is that if the pentacles are material goods and these are upside down, meaning the spirit is at the bottom, she's giving that away. She doesn't need that. Right. This is another thing, my love, that makes me think of you, because you spent so much time before we were together collecting material things.
Oh, I did.
Right? Retail therapy, like
clothes were like costumes to me.
Yeah,
they were disguises.
And silly house decorations and things. And not that I always show people our home. I love our decorations. But you had an excessive, like,
oh yeah, we cleaned out 3 dumpsters.
3 dumpsters. And when you were sad, you would just buy stuff. And now you're in a process of like, that's the spirit upside down, right? And you're just giving that away. You don't need it anymore.
Okay.
I see it as a much more healing card than that.
Well, that is a very cool way to look at it. Now, you know what I forgot in these cards is not only does it do the challenges when it repressed, but growth opportunities when accepted. Yeah. So I'm going to go back through and read those. Bottom of the deck is the Ten of Pentacles.
You didn't read the. Sorry, you didn't read the.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, let me find it again. I just had it marked. Okay.
There it is.
So.
The shadow piece.
Shadow traits to explore. Financially ignorant versus money smart. Challenges when repressed. Financial insecurity, reckless spending, greed, fear of financial loss, overspending, money problems, protecting investments.
So just out of curiosity, let's start with this one. What are the traits when accepted?
When accepted? Okay. Good financial situation, financial gains, inheritance, true values, careful with money, saving money, in control. So
yeah, I think that's So just to, I mean, I'm sure that we will do videos that will delve into my deep dark past as well, and all of my nonsense and bullshit throughout my life. But really, so far, before we get into the 2 bottom of the deck cards, what I see is you have dealt readings like this for yourself 100 times since I've known you.
Yeah.
And this is saying, listen, if you're looking for a sign, like, this is it. I'm giving you the sign. Like, I can't be much clearer, right? And it's saying that you've been with your spirit upside down. You've been focused on the wrong things and making the wrong decisions. You've had your life in chaos and
everything in balance.
Yes, and just filled your world up with stuff instead of with spirituality and with, soul and with, right? And you used chaos. You used chaos with a toxic relationship, and you used chaos with our son's illness to prevent yourself from ever focusing inward, from ever looking at
it was
you,
a distraction.
Right? It was a distraction, yes. And so now you can be this grounded earth goddess, right? This powerful, encompassing, complete person if you, this is a big one for you, relinquish control. Because, one of the conversations we have that Foxglove really probably doesn't like because it's grounded in truth is can be at times when she's a little anxious, a bit of a control freak. And I don't believe in control. I think it's an illusion, right? I think you never really have control. The best you can hope for is influence. You can influence things your way sometimes, one way or another, but you can't control. So if you can relinquish control, that will free you to give up all this upside down spirituality and all this material nonsense, which ironically enough, giving it up is going to result in a better financial situation, a better material situation.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
I agree. And then you've got on the bottom of the deck the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is usually about comfort. It's about generational wealth. It can be about inheritance, but it is this very a level of comfort that you're living at because of this
Yeah.
financial stability. You have more than enough.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's see what the let me look it up in the book for you.
yeah.
There it is.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So the shadow traits to explore: troubled versus stable, challenges when repressed, family disputes, bankruptcy, debt, conflict over money, instability, breaking traditions, financial loss, lack of motivation. Oh, yeah.
And when accepted?
When accepted, growth opportunities,
Mm.
following traditions, family connections, comfort, stability, safety, wealth, financial security, and gains and inheritance.
Yeah. And we've really been trying to, and I'm tired of trying to. I would like to actually be all about those opportunities for growth.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Underneath that is strength. Strength is in the regular tarot is all about that inner strength, like this willpower. Like you have everything, this confidence. Like she's taming a wild beast. She's literally opening up a lion's mouth, and he is just docile. And she has the strength to do those things. So this is kind of to me not embracing your strength. Like you are so tied up in all this stuff that you are not embracing your strength, and therefore you are being tore up by things that you should be able to control and normally, but you just won't embrace your strength. So, one more card, the Magician. The Magician is all about as above, so below, like manifesting. They have everything they need. He has control of all four suits, all four elements. He can mix and match and do whatever to create whatever he wants. Usually his wand is pointing up and his fingers are pointing down to say, as above, so below. So what I have up here, I can bring down. Right. So this is the opposite. This is chaos. He has no control over his magic or manifestation. It's a mess. He is not in control of his power at all. So let's read strength. So the shadow traits to explore: fragile versus resilient. Mm-hmm. That's another theme. Challenges when repressed: insecurity, external rage, destruction, destructive behavior, lack of compassion, violent tendencies, lack of integrity or courage. Now, the growth opportunities, if you accept them: self-awareness, compassion, dignity, inner peace, self-discipline, being grounded and balanced, courageous. So, yeah, all of that goes hand in hand. And again, I'm going to go back and read the other ones about when it's accepted, because I did forget that part was in there. The Magician.
There it is.
So, shadow traits to explore: unfocused versus focused, challenges when repressed, wrong direction, mentally scattered, lack of focus, pessimism, trickery, abuse of power, dishonest, selfish motives. Growth opportunities when accepted: right prioritization, correct choices, taking action, making a plan, deep focus, order out of chaos, goal visualization.
Yeah, every card says the same thing.
Pretty much, you're right.
Yeah.
Underneath the 13 card,
So you keep drawing if you want.
I know. It's Hecate. Okay? Read what Hecate says.
So this says, change is important. Release the past.
Read that one. This is the last one.
It is okay to change the direction.
Seriously.
Cards are like, if you're looking for a sign, motherfucker.
And then Hecate and Lilith both are on my altar.
Reclaim your power.
Those are my girls.
And I actually
more.
really believe that reclaim is the right way to say it.
Yeah.
And transformation.
Yep.
Shed, let go, make room for greatness.
I mean, come on, how many times can it be reiterated?
Yeah.
You know?
And to be fair, so I've said how much of this is Aleister Crowley's Playing with My Feet. How much of this I think pertains to you. Mm-hmm. This right here, like this let go, shed, let go, make room for greatness, mm-hmm. and reclaim power, really also speaks to me and some of the things I struggle with. Mm. I just think I'm further along down the trail than I've started working on this earlier than you did.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And so,
definitely.
Yeah, it's like I'm not there yet, but I'm at least bought into the process. You're
right.
even sure sometimes you really want to
right.
walk that path.
I mean, a lot of times the process scares me.
Yeah.
So, stepping outside of my comfort zone scares me.
Supposed to. That's how you know you're alive.
I know, but I know that now. In the past, growth opportunities when accepted with the Ace of Pentacles. And remember, the challenge is when repressed. Bad investments, lack of planning, money problems, greed, mischances, scarcity, deficiency, inability, instability. Sorry, my eyes are horrible. Stinginess and bad choices. Now, the growth opportunities that you have from knowingness and being aware of these issues. Developing gifts, talents, good financial investments, prosperity, achievement, material success, promotion, and fertility. Not looking for no fertility unless it's in abundance.
Well, that's it. Fertility could refer to this Biker and the Witch project.
Right. Giving birth to something
in
new.
its infancy.
Yes. Yeah. So with the Two of Pentacles that came after the Ace, the shadow traits to explore were disarray versus orderly. The challenges when repressed was imbalance, unorganized, overwhelm, messiness, chaos, overextending, feeling unstable, wasteful, indecisive, and bad news. So your chances, your opportunities, if you decide to change this way in what you're holding on to, more possibilities, multitasking, being flexible, finding stability, better time management, good prioritization, and adaptability. So the world.
Those are my biggest struggles, that Two of Pentacles.
Oh, yeah. You overwhelm yourself and create chaos.
Well, I do that, but I also, like, for me, organization is not my strong suit, and I am not a detail-oriented person. I am very much a big picture kind of person. And so, like, before we were together, I really lived a minimalist lifestyle because I hate clutter, but I'm just not organized enough to keep things, uncluttered. So just having less stuff really worked well for me. Yeah.
Right.
Same thing with like other areas of my life, but like the things I do in my life where I get overwhelmed and too busy, I feel like should not be terribly overwhelming, except that I'm really bad with organizing my time usage and with like details and things. I have great ideas, but the details are not my strong suit.
Right. All right. So the world was next, and the world was in the middle. So this is kind of like our main focus. Okay. So the shadow traits to explore is mindlessness versus mindfulness. Challenges when repressed, external happiness, wishful thinking, repressing pain, seeking perfection, hanging on to the past, emotional stagnation. Now, growth opportunities when you accept, you see that this is what you're holding on to and you choose to work on it, is internal strength, standing on solid ground, being a whole person, internal happiness, realizing your goals, and without attachment.
Yeah. I feel like for you specifically, and for me, but I'm again a little further down the road than you are. So this idea of mindfulness reminds me of how many times, and you've gotten a lot better with it. It's really improved. But how many times, like, you'll get defensive
Mm.
about something, or just really kind of stubborn and hard to talk to.
Mm.
Um, and once you realize that you were defensive or guarded, you'll say to me, like, well, I didn't even know I was doing it. I just can't see it. I just don't know. And I keep trying to say to you, like, a mindfulness practice, even just a few minutes a day
Mm.
of learning to be present with your breath, with your thoughts, with your body, can really improve your ability to, in the moment, like, maybe you'll still get defensive, but as you're being defensive, you'll hear yourself and be like, oh shit, like, I'm doing it right now.
Right.
And let me, and again, I'm not saying it like I'm immune to it, but I do think that I'm more likely than you are
Oh
to,
yeah.
like, get defensive and then after a minute be like, oh, you know what, I just heard myself
No.
and I realize I'm not being open to what you're telling me.
Right. No, you're
Right.
much further along in that
Yeah, but
journey and that practice than I am.
right, but I think the sign, right, I think what this is telling you, because there's so many times when you tell me you're, like, you're working on these things and you're thinking about them and you're right.
Mm-hmm.
And as a psychologist, I keep telling you, thinking about them might not be the solution,
Right.
right? And maybe the sign here is, like, we need to practice more mindfulness. We need to be more self-aware.
Yeah. No, I can see that too, and I
Right.
can see how the cards all tie together into that too.
Right? Because then, if you're self-aware, in any given moment, you have options and choices. If you just default to being defensive, you have no
You're
options.
same old
Yeah.
hamster wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did
Okay.
this.
Yep. So the Nine of Wands. We read those.
Yeah, we read.
Okay. The opportunities for change.
Because
and
remember, I
everything.
said out of curiosity.
Right.
But you can go through it again.
All right. So the growth opportunities when accepted, becoming persistent, having courage, standing up for your beliefs, on guard, protecting yourself, and having strength. That's the Nine of Wands, and it goes along with the Strength card that was underneath there. And for the Four of Pentacles, growth opportunities there is solid financial situation, financial gains, inheritance, true values, carefulness with money, saving money, and being in control. So yeah, like I said, this is a very different reading with these new cards and everything like that. But I really love the way that it tells you the difference, what you're holding on to, and how you can learn from this. Yeah, if you embrace it.
And just so everybody knows, like, I always feel a little bit like an asshole when we talk about, like, me being further along in these things than Foxglove is. But just so you know, like, when, like, I've made plenty of terrible decisions in my life, and most of my, like, being a psychologist and being a personal fitness coach and nutrition coach and a financial coach came from, like, fucking those things up and having to learn how to improve them.
Right.
But what happened was, a couple of years ago when Foxglove and I were first getting together, I had the impression that she was really amazing at all this, like, personal growth stuff and all this. Like, she really had her shit together and she was a great communicator and a great partner, and she just had it all down. I don't know where I could have gotten that idea from.
Well, because I honestly thought I was. And I thought I did. I really did. And then I soon learned that, holy shit, I suck at all of this.
Right.
So
before we, like, really got together, I was just so, like, ass over pie hole in love with her that I was like, I cannot let my past patterns and demons fuck this up. And so I, like, got a new therapist and I was like, we need to work on this shit. And I started meditating more and I started amping up my workouts and, cold water plunge, just everything to get my head straight so that I wouldn't bring my old bullshit into this new relationship and fuck it up, because I didn't want to repeat patterns. I wanted this relationship to be different and to work out. So then we got into this relationship and I'm all sleeves rolled up, ready to have like hard conversations and to be engaged and to work shit out. And I come to realize not
Here I
really
came with my
Foxglove's
like
thing.
truckload full of shit from the past,
Yeah.
and
And so that's
yeah,
why I'm a little ahead of the game from her on working on this
right.
stuff. But she's really been doing amazing and
Thank
really
you.
growing. And we both try to be really growth oriented. Did you have something more on these
Yeah,
that you
I'm going to get
ah
a final
final message
message
from the Moonology
from
deck?
the Moonology. First of all, I think it's all pretty clear. Is there anything here we need to clarify?
No, I don't need to clarify it. I just like I think it speaks to you mostly
Mm-hmm.
between the two of us because like I can grow from all of this. This is all shit I still need to work on
Mm-hmm.
and still going around the spiral staircase up and up, right? But the difference between you and me is like while I still have tons of room to grow, I feel like I've jumped into the pool. Like I am
Right.
bought into doing it. I am bought into letting myself be uncomfortable, letting myself deal with hardship, and just sucking it up and learning and growing. I feel like you sometimes are sort of like doing it a bit, but also kind of flirting with the idea of maybe doing it, but not really. And
Yeah.
you need something to sort of like push you into the pool.
Yeah.
And
It's kind of
so
that dipping your toe in,
yeah.
you
And
know.
so I just wanted to say I really hope that people who are watching this are getting worthwhile, valuable messages the way we are. I hope that this is speaking to you as well.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is, please drop us a comment, right? Comment and let us know. We would love to comment back and hear how you resonate or don't
Right.
with this
And
reading.
if there's any questions that you have about how these things can be applied into your life or how
Yeah.
you can change it, I mean, you have a psychologist right here,
Yeah.
you know? So, all right. Final message to
Don't
tie this
expect easy
all.
answers.
He does not give you answers now. He makes you work for that shit. Mm-hmm. All right. So
Man, those are really pretty cards.
they're beautiful. I have another.
They're beautiful.
Oh,
You are?
you are too. Gorgeous. Oh, that one wants to go in that pile. All right. Our final message. Take time to breathe out.
So can I jump on this one?
Mm-hmm.
So what stands out to me about breathing out, as opposed to just breathing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or breathing in, it's very specific about breathing out. And so one of the things you learn when you work with trauma survivors, but you learn this in fitness and other areas too, is that our sympathetic nervous system and our parasympathetic nervous system, when we're in optimal health, those two are balanced.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, one of the best measures we have for health is what's called heart rate variability. Heart rate variability suggests that every time I inhale, like if my heart rate is 60 beats per minute, it does not mean that my heart beats every second for a minute. It's not even. What happens every time I inhale, my heart beats very quickly because inhaling stimulates my sympathetic nervous system. Every time I exhale, my heart rate should slow drastically because that's my sympathetic nervous system. And the average of those two would be 60 a minute. And heart rate variability is how big is the space between when I inhale, when I exhale, how much variability do I have in that heart rate? The more variability, the better. And so, most of us, so many of us, and this speaks to control,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it speaks to bad decisions and it
Holding
speaks
things
to
on
chaos.
as if holding your breath.
Right. And that's
Good.
all sympathetic nervous system,
Mm-hmm.
fight or flight, high
Mm-hmm.
heart rate, high blood pressure, adrenaline, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cortisol, uh, all kinds of things going on in your system to prepare you for fight or flight. And so many of us live so much of our lives that
Mm-hmm.
way that we don't even notice it. We just feel like it's normal. And we don't have enough time. So sympathetic is fight or flight. Parasympathetic is what they call the rest and digest nervous system. So
Mm-hmm.
sympathetic should all that elevation and high heart rate and high should prepare you to survive an emergency. But after the emergency, The rest and digest should allow you to recover and build resilience and strength and rest, right?
Resilience was one of the things they
Yeah.
said.
And so few of us in modern society, so few of us really get to indulge in parasympathetic. And this as breathe out and specifically exhaling stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. That's why before you do something scary, you go and you jump in. And then when you're done doing something scary, you go, right? That's parasympathetic nervous system. So I think this card is very specifically talking about the parasympathetic nervous system.
Yeah, no, totally agree with you. And again, you know, we talk about like inhaling and exhaling, you know, exhale, let go, breathe out, blow out,
Yeah.
let go.
Yeah. I'll do sometimes like I'll notice that I'm holding tension in my neck or in my hands or in my butt.
Jaw.
Yeah. And I will specifically like let it go, right? To let it ease out.
Yeah.
And so
I've started doing that whenever I notice like my anxiety kicking up. Is breathing in deep and breathing out.
Right. Breathe out deeper than you breathe in.
Yeah. And that belly breath, that belly breathing. So, yeah, absolutely. I definitely think that closes it up. You need to learn to let go of this, balance it, close it up.
Yeah. Well, and I think, right, the takeaway message for me is just that all these bad decisions, all this financial chaos, all this need for control, it's all a lot of energy and a lot of tension and a lot of effort, and all for the shittiest outcomes, for like the worst outcomes. And we think that that's what builds power. But the way to build power is to let go of that and to trust yourself. See, all that tension and control is usually because we don't trust ourselves to handle obstacles. But if we breathe out and we have faith in ourselves, and we have faith in the universe, we have faith in our loved ones, then we become truly powerful because we're not holding all this unnecessary tension.
Then we can step into our power.
Yeah.
And I will say that if this says divine feminine, we all have divine feminine and divine masculine.
Right.
So, and a lot of times, like feminine is more emotional.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. And if you look into like Chinese medicine, for example, or read like the I Ching or the Tao Te Ching, the sympathetic nervous system is considered a masculine energy. It's yang energy, and the parasympathetic nervous system is considered a yin feminine energy. Yeah.
Yet another way it all ties together.
Yeah.
It's really cool. All right.
Well, until next time, I am Dr. Sunshine. Thanks for hanging out with us and keep growing until you're thriving.
And I am Foxglove.